let's talk about the draw, the scintillating draw last match. It essentially, as I say, it went down to the wire. We had Steve Smith bowling the final overs.
9 under the lid, or 9 around the bat, I should say,
Yeah.
for Smudge
Nearly
coming
everyone
on
around.
in the second last over.
Yeah.
That's scenes. That's what Test cricket's about.
Yeah.
That's what Test cricket's about. You can give me your colours. You can give me your 20 over format. And look, any cricket's good cricket, but love to see it. A scintillating draw. We did lose time, a little bit of time from the rain that was in this match. Perhaps was the deciding factor. You did mention Usman Khawaja's back-to-back tons. He actually came in. His 238 runs in this Test match is more than any POM in this whole series has scored. That's not named Joe Root.
Yep.
Cam Green got some much-needed runs. We were speculating last episode. Does Green hold his spot in this team? Was his bowling enough to keep him in this side? He's a pretty handy stick. He just, hadn't made the best of his opportunities.
Yeah. And his bowling ended up being very useful as well, with Boland having to go off for large periods to try and sort out some of his strains as well. So, and he's looking,
played his part.
Yeah, and he's looking like he's going to get 50 in this current match as well. So
I think he just did.
Or he just did. Yeah. So he's coming along nicely for a bloke that's only 22, I think.
22 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'd 4 feet tall.
Yes. So how did we get to that point though? Because I think we covered probably the first 2 or 3 days.
I think, we were 3 days in to sort of set it up. This was us in response to Bairstow going out and scoring that ton. What about
the fat CUT? CUNT.
Surely that is not the thoughts of the Esky. That is not the thoughts of the Esky. There was a little bit of back and forth with the crowd making a comment on Johnny's weight. Let's
physical specimen.
No. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit heavier set, especially
makes a good side,
especially for a cricketer. I did this sort of. It came to me right. The heavy set 11. And this would be a great team. This would be a great team. In this team, I believe we have 3 former Test captains. I think we have a Knight. I think we've got the best spin bowler of all time that bowled with a straight arm. Anyways, here's the team.
Rise to the team.
In homage.
While he does that, James, do you want to bring up the scorecard for the match, please?
An homage to Johnny Bairstow's 100. This is the thick 11, THICC 11. David Byrne, Mark Tubby Taylor opening the bat. One of the thickest bats that you'll ever see. in Test cricket, I'm talking about. In Test cricket, thick bat. Inzaman ul Haq, batting 3. That's a former Test captain right there. Batting 4, Arjuna Ranatunga, also former Test captain. That's 3 Test captains in a row. Pudgy boys. He's a former Test coach, Darren Lehman. Batting 5. We've got a Knight, Sir Beefy, Ian Botham. Beefy. Yeah, he actually wasn't that big, but anyways, he's in. He's one of the best all-rounders of all time. Johnny Bairstow, he's batting 7, representing the thickest set keepers. And then this bloke just gets in, just based on his frame. Absolutely no right to be there.
He loves an ice cream.
Absolutely no right to be there based on skill, but it's the chunky 11, and he's quite chunky. Rakeem the Dream Cornwall, current player for the West Indies. He's batting 8, bowling some dinky off-spinners. I don't know. He probably doesn't offer too much rest of this team, but morale.
Oh, he can tweak him occasionally, so.
He'll finish the pizza. Don't worry about that. Shane Warne, he's there. Batting 9. This is pre-diuretic Shane Warne. I'm talking meat pies, pizza, dart, repeat. Shane Warne.
Yeah.
Batting,
Peak Shane Warne.
Well, at 10, I should say. He's not a bat. He's one of the most feared fast bowlers of the late 80s and early 90s. Mervyn Hughes, mustache and all, and a shorter kind of quick, but also quite rotund. Used to swing the ball around in the late 90s. Darren Goff. They are, of course, coached, if he's still alive, I don't even know, really, Dwayne the Rock Leverock of Bermuda. One of the I'm going to say it, the chunkiest international cricketer of all time. That one time that Bermuda made the World Cup, Dwayne featured. He bowled, he bowled pies and ate them too. And I think he was a cop. I think he was an actual cop in Bermuda. Don't know what the crime's like there. It's a lot of
lots of disappearances. I'd say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, pies disappearing into Dwayne's mouth. Anyways, that was a little fun.
The thick 11.
We'll post that. The THICC 11. Congrats, Johnny, for making that side. Not here in Hobart.
No. Well, he ran too much in the last one.
Cardio.
It strained something because he did hit that 113, and he worked well with Stokes there to really get England back into this game after starting very poorly.
We were watching sort of the early part of that unfold last week, and we thought, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah, another 3-day test.
This test's going to be over in 3 days. Yeah. And actually, credit where credit's due to the Ginger boys, the Ginger Ninjas, Johnny Bairstow and Ben Stokes. What was that partnership? 150 runs. Really got him out of the shit. And, we talk about the rain maybe saving England. Maybe those two lads saved him as well. Had a bit to do with
Mark Wood chipped into that innings as well. Just got down to the second innings for Australia. So Warner's had a bit of streaky form of late as well, unfortunately for him. So
he's still top 5 run scorers in this series.
Just going on the last... He got 0 on today, and he's got 3 there, and he didn't get very many in the first in this either.
Sure.
So, but the big one there, of course, was Usman getting the 100, and then Cam Green getting the 74. What do you think about them declaring late in this game? Do you think that may have cost them?
Well,
once Usman got his 100, do you think they should have?
They were thinking about Uzi getting his 100, as you were, as everyone watching it unfold was thinking. You've got to wait till Uzi gets his 100. No, I'm gonna back in Paddy Cummins and the Australian coaching staff. I don't think that they stayed out there too long. It was a little bit weird that they sent Carey out for him.
You got out first
to get a golden quacker, and then Big Alpha Mood calling him back in when Jack Leach is on a hat trick.
That's right.
The day that he has a Test hat trick is the day that I'll eat my own hat. No, I don't think they batted too long. I think you've got to think of individual accolades in that circumstance.
But do you think let's say 5 minutes of the changeover from Usman getting out, coming in to sheds, you're sending Kerry out there, then he's walking off, and then they call him in. Do you think that 5 minutes could have gotten 2 extra overs, which may have been a difference?
2 overs could have been the difference, but it's. If they got Zach Crawley out earlier, that could have been the difference.
Yeah.
If it didn't rain, then they lost 6 or 7 overs from rain. That shoulda, coulda, woulda. No, I think they made the right. I think they made the right call in letting Usman get his 100. The choice to send Kerry out there a little bit peculiar.
Well, that was probably the other question: is do you think they could have been stiff on Usman and declared it, say 350, where he was in the 80s, and said, "Hey, we're here to win this Test match, not to score hundreds."
Yeah, and that's a completely reasonable thing to argue. I remember talking in the group chat, and we were saying, "Oh, what would you feel comfortable here? 350?
350.
A lead of 350, and it ended up being 400. It would have broken the fourth innings winning total by about 100 runs, and the top, I think I remember the graphic correctly, the top 9 of the 10 biggest fourth innings totals have all come from Australia batting in the fourth innings. So, if you want to think of it like that, then maybe they did bat a little bit too long. But I don't question them. We were one pole away from being up 4-0.
I think there are different decisions made if this series is closer. Like, hey, we're fighting. We need the win here. Yeah. Whereas I think the storyline of Usman getting 2 tons is a better storyline, even if it ends up being we draw.
Yeah. Yep.
So I could see that as the reason why they kind of just like, hey, we've already got the series sewn up. We're pretty much guaranteed a draw at this point. Let's, we'll let Usman get his 100, and then we'll put it on our bowlers who have been excellent in this series to potentially win it. Yeah. And if not, we've got the draw. So we've already got the series.
That's it.
Get at us in the comments if anyone thinks that we batted too long.
Well, Rickon asked it. That's why I think we covered it, but I think we covered his thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at all the other innings that England played. You wouldn't expect them to last that long. I think even the commentators were saying that the Aussies could bat through to an hour into the last day and still have enough time to get England all out. So, even the commentators are fairly confident. I don't
think they left them themselves enough time on that fourth day where they could have bowled maybe for an hour instead of the 30 odd minutes they did get. I think they probably would have liked that hour to maybe get Crawley, get a couple there, and then they would have been in real trouble and knock them over easy on Friday. But like I said, I think the storyline of Usman getting back-to-back tons, they just couldn't deny what that meant. So that's why I think they kind of stuck it in there. Speaking
of Crawley, credit to him. We've seen throughout this Test series, no one really putting their hand up other than Joe Root and Bairstow in the first innings of this Test match. Zach Crawley, he
had to do a job.
Well, he got the top of his off peg taken in the first innings by a beautiful Scott Boland ball, driving on the up there. People were weary of his technique, and he just went out there and he took it back to the bowler. He played aggressively. We saw Haseeb Hameed, who's been dropped for this fifth Test, kind of looked timid out there and not looked to take it back to the bowlers.
Very timid in all his innings.
Shout out to Zach Crawley. We talk about what. Did we declare at the right time? Did the rain affect things? Or maybe Zach Crawley saved England here. Shout out to his 77 off 100 there.
Yeah, Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow again.
The Ginger Ninjas.
Chipped in for another 100, and they did get 270. So 350 maybe would have been a bit worried, and maybe they would have pushed in those last 2 hours to potentially get a win. Again, probably unlikely, but it's a different scenario when things are closer.
When Stokes is out there on 60 and you're thinking Headingley, you're thinking, oh God, I've seen this before.
Exactly, the flashback.
There was a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder there. Anyways.
I get what you're talking about.
But I did allude to it before. Sitting around the pub Sunday afternoon, after our own Sunday social cricket team had been absolutely poleaxed. It was very intentional, of course, just to get into the pub and watch it all unfold rather than being out there playing for nothing.
Well, let's talk about then the last, say, 5 overs and how it finished up. And the storylines as well.
So. Well, Leach was out there and actually looking to score runs, which was quite unusual.
Being positive.
And then when he got done by Steve Smith.
Well, Steve Smith being forced to bowl because it was getting too dark and they weren't allowing the overs. Yeah, well, they're saying you can't bowl pace, you got to bowl spin. So
Smudge comes in. Smudge comes in. Crowded around.
You'd only bowl 2 overs before that.
See Cam Green fielding at gully for a leg spinner on his knees. He was fielding on his knees. It was absolute scenes.
Well,
that's what Test cricket's about.
Yeah, and Cummins in front of the batter there with a helmet on.
Yeah, that's right. The skipper, the best looking man in Australia, and the most important. Sorry, Scott Morrison, but you're number 2, if that. To have the skipper under the lid there, there would have been verbal.
They'll get stuck in it,
mate. Missiles coming, head noise. And kudos to Stuart Broad and Jack Leach going out there. Jimmy Anderson,
the man that doesn't get out,
facing six balls and saving a whitewash. Well done to you. But that is Test match cricket at its pinnacle.
But that's the Steve Smith wicket of Leach that is just. Oh, the scenes. This actually scenes. You're just like, it's actually going to happen. We've got 2 hours to go.
I had the feeling when Smudge got that wicket that it might be coming. Yep. But anyways,
did you see Stokes on the bench in those last couple of overs as well?
It just showed how much it meant. Like 5 days, and it came down to an over essentially. And
as much as the press likes to run this English side through the ringer, it's not like they're out there and they want to look. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want.
They're not here for a holiday.
No, it matters to them. It matters to them.
They're put up in hotels, can't go anywhere. Just like, hey, but we had to play cricket.
They were saying on the radio today, Stuart Broad in his 150th Test match. Do you know how many he's won in Australia? Individual games.
Not many. I think Jimmy Anderson's the same because I was saying the same thing about him.
Anderson, I believe, might have been on that 2010 tour where they got a few wins. Yeah. The answer for Stuart Broad is 1, I believe. Can you chase that up? How many Test matches has Stuart Broad won in Australia? I believe it's 1.
Yeah, the English side doesn't do very well in Australia.
No.
Especially not Adelaide.